Lily Ajarova is my name, the CEO Uganda Tourism Board. Uganda is known as the Pearl of Africa. It's known as the Pearl of Africa because the depth, the range, and the variety of what the continent of Africa has is in Uganda. So I'm very glad to be with you all this afternoon. The gorilla permits pricing is categorized. Is the pricing for East African citizens, and then there's the pricing for Africans, the rest of Africa, and then the international out of the continent. So it's already discounted for the residents of Africa. Uh, um, First and foremost, our guides have to be licensed and they have to be certified to a specific grading that they would belong to based on their experience and skills. So it all starts with the fact that there are different training institutions up to university level, which are government owned but also privately owned. So once they have gone through either a diploma course, a degree course, we still, as Uganda Tourism Board, have to assess their level of skill and knowledge. And so we have an assessment program that they go through, and this assessment is both theory and also practical. So we take them to a tourist destination and they have to do the guiding and we assess their level of knowledge and experience. So we do that and we will get them licensed so long as they meet the minimum requirement in terms of the language, the expression, the eloquency, the basic knowledge, and skills. We license them. And then we have another level of grading them as level 1, level 2, level 3, based on the skill base. Now, we also have different categories of guides. Yeah, we have the wildlife guides, especially those who are visiting the national parks. These guys are very conversant with the wildlife, behaviors and so on. So we classify them differently from a cultural site guide who will have an expertise on explaining the history, the culture of that particular site. And then we have the general safari guides, who tend to have the general knowledge on different things. But we have also classified a particular group as the bird guides. And most of these are actually women. Yeah, so we have the women bird guides, and this was done really with the interest to promote the women being involved in all the service areas in the tourism. Otherwise, then women are always associated with being in the hospitality where they're doing working in the restaurant or in the hotel, but they have the capability to work across the different along the value chain. So for that we provided a special opportunity, to promote women guides in Uganda, and it actually was recognized that Uganda was the first country to do that. And soon after we did that, Kenya invited us to be able to launch one for Kenya as well. And we are waiting for the rest of the African countries to invite us to share our experience of the women. Well, we already have a very easy process for visa. We have online visa application, and the process will take you very minimum time, and the approval normally takes, the turnaround is 48 hours. So long as the system is working okay. Once in a while you have the system failure, delays, and so on. But so long as the system is not having any issues, it's in 48 hours you should be able to have your visa once the application has been approved. Now, going forward, I think there has been a very big discussion, even at the African Union level, to open up Africa for Africans. And so the issue of visa is something which is on the high radar of all the governments in Africa, and Uganda is definitely in support of that. Would want to open up, first of all, to Africans, but to the rest of the world as well. I think we have been very good at that in terms of opening Uganda for to the world for trade and other things. And I think we are in total agreement that we need to. As a Uganda Tourism Board, we have already written a cabinet paper. It's still to be debated by cabinet and considered if we can actually remove the visa requirement for everyone coming into Uganda. Uganda, like I said, known as the Pearl of Africa, we have the diversity of experience for one. And we actually call on everyone who plans to come to Uganda not to visit it, because you do yourself a disservice to visit. Because visiting means you just come for a very short time, come in for a few days and get out. We we urge everyone who plans to come to Uganda to give themselves enough time to explore. We ask that you come and explore and immerse yourself into the culture, into the food, into the whole environment, the various landscapes, beautiful from mountains to lakes to forests, besides wildlife, because we are well known for wildlife, including the premium products of the great apes, the mountain gorillas, which Uganda has 54% of the remaining population of the mountain gorillas in the world. And we have a population of 5,000 of wild chimpanzees in the country. And besides the diversity of wildlife, including Uganda having 50% of the identified bird species in Africa, mountaineering to the culture of the people is something you get when you get to Uganda, you get to immerse yourself in. And Ugandans are known to be the most hospitable people. A few years ago, CNN actually did report that from the survey they did, they found that Ugandans were the most hospitable people in the world. So it is something that without you planning for specific things, the Ugandans will make you feel at home, and get you to feel everything that we have, and you get to explore the country and experience the diversity. But all we ask from you is to give yourself enough time when you decide to come to Uganda. Um, I I can't mention any other particular ones, but also I know that in the past we have sent some of our guides to South Africa, to Kruger National Park, to have some training. This is especially with the national park, ranger guides to learn from what South Africa has, and we also do a lot of exchange program, within the region, especially within East Africa, because it's easy, relatively cheap to get the staff to move around. So that is ongoing, definitely, and we're also looking at in terms of marketing the country. Most of the arrivals into Uganda is from the continent, yeah, of Africa. So we have realized that we need to prioritize the interests of the Africans first, and then the rest of the world. Yes, they come, but they are not the majority who come to visit Uganda or explore Uganda. So we are now trying to look at the interest of the different, people from different parts of Africa. We recently, a few years ago, got into the market of West Africa. It was new to us, And we have learned that their interest is not exactly the same as the interest of the people from East Africa. Yeah, so we are trying to tailor make some of the experiences to speak to their interest, to meet their interest when they come to Uganda. Uh, Ugandans are also very talented people. We have lots of creativity. Uh, we are also rated. Ugandans are rated to be the most entrepreneurial, um, citizens in the world. I think we have had this recognition for the last 5 years consistently, and and that speaks to the creativity that we have as a country. Um, Again, we have a very young population. Yeah, 75% of the Ugandan population is below 30 years. Yeah, so we have a very young population with young people full of creativity, and that speaks a lot to the creative industry. We have lots of visual art, to music, to different things that the young people are doing, and we have incorporated that into the tourist experience. So we do have some cultural centers. We have one in the city center that if one does not have the time to go to different parts of the country, they can actually experience the culture of the Ugandan people right at this one center, where the food served is from the different parts of the country, different delicacies to the different tribes, and then also the entertainment in terms of the dancing and the storytelling covers the different tribes as well. So it's like a one-stop center to experience the diversity of the culture of the people. But also there's contemporary music, and we have festivals happening different times of the year in different regions of the country, which is something that we are now putting on the calendar for people who are traveling to Uganda to be able to say, oh, okay, there's this festival, cultural festival. Since I'm going to Uganda during this time, let me align and include it in my program as well. So it's very exciting, and that's one way that the young people are being kept busy and being given opportunity to develop their talents, but also have a way to earn, a living. Pre-COVID pandemic, we were receiving up to 1.5 million arrivals, and of course that was 2019. 2020 it went really almost to nothing, and in 2021 we were able to get up to 500,000. Then 2022 we went up to 820,000, and 2023 we're able to get up to 1.2 million. So slowly we are getting back to where we were pre-COVID, but our target is much higher than that, And one of the things is we were not out there aggressively to promote business tourism. We are more focused on the leisure tourism. The reason why we are admitting South Africa is because we are now pushing for the business tourism as well. And we believe with this, we should be able to achieve higher targets in terms of the numbers of arrivals. The number from Africa is about 70%. Yeah. The contribution of tourism to the GDP is 7%. It's employing up to directly 660,000, but with indirect we have up to about 1.5 million. It's actually Kenya. Yes. Kenya followed by Rwanda. Yes.
So
We need to get South Africa up there.
is it somewhere in top 5?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
And then overseas, I mean, outside Africa. Is it
Outside Africa, our major markets are the UK, are the Germans, and North America. Yeah, but we also have some of the emerging markets of the Middle East, Japan, China. Yeah. One thing that was happening pre-COVID pandemic, uh, we had last done the grading and classification of the accommodation facilities in 2017, and we are in high gears now trying to classify and grade all the hospitality facilities, the restaurants, whatever accommodation facilities, and this is to help maintain the set standards, but also to be able to encourage more. Because as we promote Uganda for business tourism, we need a certain level of standards. And we have already seen as we are going through this exercise, because normally for meetings, you're expecting people are expecting the standard majority of delegates will stay in accommodation facility of 3-star and above, and we already see through that there is a gap. So we are encouraging more investment into 3-star hotels and above, to be able to accommodate more numbers when it comes to business tourism, but also for leisure, because we are also aiming to have a higher um, a higher percentage of luxury tourists coming to Uganda as well. So it's the projection. It's looking good, on uh, on what we expect in terms of investment, but also in terms of arrivals, both for business and leisure. We hope by the end of this year that we should surpass the 1.5 million arrival mark. Uh, First, Meeting Africa provides a huge opportunity to learn from the exhibitors, the other countries, um, on how they are doing it. How are they managing their business tourism? We come here as a destination, but also we have the Uganda Convention Bureau. We are still very young, and it has been a lot of learning to be here to see from the senior, you know, um, colleagues on where they started, where they are, but also attending some of the discussions, on the trends of what's going on. Even with some of the meetings we are having with colleagues from different countries, the trend of what is happening in the different regions, not only in South Africa, but the rest of Africa as well. And this has given us some new ideas on how we can go back home and improve on what we are doing as the Uganda Convention Bureau. I, I think for me, in the whole thing, the emphasis on sustainability is something that stands out. And the lesson is that we can't run away from the subject of sustainability. In whatever business we are doing, sustainability is very key. We need to bear that in mind. We need to have the local people benefiting, from whatever the business is. We need to be cautious of our natural environment, how we are impacting it. We should use as much of the recycled material, and yeah, to save the environment for the next generation. Yeah. Food is one of the things that if you're a foodie, Uganda is the best destination to go to. We have over 60 different tribes, and each tribe has their own delicacy. Yeah, there's one special dish from each tribe, and it ranges from beans to fish to how they make the meats, different vegetables. So it's really diverse. So if you enjoy food, it's a place to visit and really explore, the diversity, the variety that we have. Yeah. The vegetables are great, and all our food is organic. We are still so blessed to have the rich soils and really grow our food, organically without fertilizers and so on. We have very good weather, that the sunshine and the rainfall is so balanced that our fruits are so sweet. I've never found any country outside Uganda that has as sweet fruits as we have back home. Not because I'm coming from Uganda, but it's really the fact. It's yes. Thank you very much. I really want to take the opportunity to say thank you for the interview, for being here, and for showing interest in Uganda. And we know that we can't do it without the media. The media is always our special partners, and I really appreciate this. Thank you very much.